Boys and girls, we have been learning about the short I. Today we are going to work on writing some more words with word families. I want you to look right here. I have what we call a word family, and this is the word family in. Say that with me. In. This is a short I word family. We have the short I and the consonant N. By knowing a word family, it helps me to write and read other words. So what I want to do today is I want to come up with a word that has this same word family. So if I know in, it will help me to write this new word. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to write in right here, because if my word has this word family, I need to write it. So then I'm going to think about what consonant I can put in the front of in to make a real word. Remember that a consonant is not a vowel. Vowels are A, E, I, O, and U, and sometimes Y. So I need to think about a letter that's a consonant that might make sense with the word family in. Let's look at this letter, the B, B, B. If I were to put that here, would that make sense? B-in, bin, like a bin is a container. That makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and write the B right here. Do you see how this is my word family? Bin has the word family in. Let's come up with another word that is in that same word family. Remember, we can also call word families word patterns. Again, I'm going to write my in right there. Then I'm gonna look at another letter. Let's try the D in front of that. D, 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 in, din. Does that sound right? You know what? It doesn't, and I can't really use that in a sentence, so it's not real. I want to find a real word, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to look for another consonant. This is a vowel. What about the F? F says f. Let's think about that. In, fin. Yes, a fin of a fish. So I'm going to write the F right here. So do you see how, by knowing in, it helps me with bin and fin? That in is my word family. Let's look at one more. Again, I'm going to write in because I know that's my word family I'm working on. Let's keep looking. Hen. Does that make sense? No. Lynn. Well, that's a name, but I think I've seen it spelled a different way. What about the P? Pin. That would be a real word. Pin. Pin has that in word family. I want you to remember when we have a word family and words with the same word family or word pattern, they rhyme. Listen. Bin, fin, pin. All three of these words have the in word family. Let's look at a new word family. This is another I word family. We say this as ig. Ig. I want to add a letter in front of the ig word family to make a real word. I'm going to write ig. Let's look for a letter that we can add, or a consonant that we can add to the front of this word family. What about the B? Notice how I'm starting again at the beginning. Big. Big is a real word. So let's write big. Okay? You will notice that in my word big is the word family ig. Let's write a new word. We know that we can write the ig because if we're writing words with the same word family, we need to have the ig. Let's think of another word. Gig. Oh, you know what? Gig is it is a real word. I've heard that. Like some people might say they have a gig that they're playing at, so it would be like they would be playing their guitar somewhere. So it's kind of a word like that. So I could write the word gig, so I could add the G. But if I didn't know that that was a real word, I'm not going to write it because I want to make sure I'm writing real words. So there's that IG, that same word family. Let's look for one more word. Again, I'm writing the IG. That's my word family. Let's see here. Oh, what about if I put a P in front? Pig. Pig is a real word, isn't it? So by knowing ig, it helps me with the words big, gig, and pig. Look here, I have another word family or word pattern. Read this with me. Ip. Let's come up with some more words using that same word pattern or word family. IP says ip. Let's see here. Bip. Can I use bip in a sentence? No, it doesn't make sense. Let's keep going. How about a D? Dip, like chips and dip, right? So I could add the D to the beginning of my word family. There's that ip. That's my word family. Let's come up with another one. Oops, excuse me. Okay, so there is ip again. Let's see, what could we add to the beginning of ip to make a real word? Let's keep looking. Fip. Does that sound right? Gip? No. How about hip? Hip is a real word, isn't it? So I'm going to make an H right there, and I'm going to underline my word family. By knowing ip, it helps me with dip and hip. Let's come up with one more ip word. Can you find a letter that I can add to the beginning? I see one. How about the letter S? Sip. You take a sip of your drink. Sip. Sip again has that same word family. Boys and girls, today we wrote words that have word families inside of them. We can use those word families to help us read and write other words. Let's end our lesson by reading all of the words we came up with. Ready? In. If we know in, it helps us with bin, fin, pin. If we know ig, it helps us with big, gig, and pig. By knowing ip, it helps us with dip, hip, and sip. Knowing our word families is super important. Good job today.